Welcome along to Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, home of the satirical satire. I'm sitting with Bridges, aka Peter. With me this evening, we've got my friend, the Indy Ninja. All right, how you doing, big man?
Doing all right, Peter. Good evening, freedom fighters and SNP.
We'll go on to that in a wee minute. Big man. Because that was shocking, right? That was fucking, like, absolutely dire. I'll try and keep the convo going until I check to see what folk are joining us online, big man, right? But we're going to talk about, or the reason why we're here is we're going to talk about the online Scottish Citizens Assembly and Bonfire of the Vanities. So a wee while back, I put out a tweet saying something along the lines of, let me find it first of all. It was today with Liz Truss and that, right? I'll do a wee share on it.
Prime Minister.
Aye, when she had the short spell as Prime Minister.
It's kind of nuts because basically I got a 1 week Facebook ban last week for saying that since that the Home Secretary had left, I would have hot on the stilettos of Priti Patel, and maybe if they were going to try and find another Home Secretary, they'd be better looking for Adolf Hitler. So I got a 1 week ban for Facebook for it, and then and strange enough that bloody same Home Secretary is back in place again, and my ban's still got 2 days to go.
That's mad, isn't it, mate? Like they were getting them at tight today, to be fair, in the Parliament. I'm just saying hi to the folk that have joined us online so far. We've got Eileen, we've got Colin. There's other people online as well that haven't dropped their names. So just hi out to folk that are joining us online. So the tweet that I put out, right, this was what started the Tweet Streets online Scottish Citizens Assembly. I said Truss would scramble about with the anchor pulling her down in less than a month. Why are we sitting allowing our country to be dragged through, it says, and English political parties there, political parties there, well, it's Scots as collateral damage as she begs for scraps for the King's table, sturgeon scraps, hashtag sturgeon scraps, right? And then the next one was, the next part of that thread was, that I'm not accepting this for Scotland or you. An emergency sittings of the Assembly should be called. Scotland can't wait to be held on a peg until the Tories are in order. If you want to make a change, be it, I'll host an online assembly of up to 100. Comment if you want in Scotland, right? So that was pretty much how it started. I'll say evening, Peter, evening, other folk that are joining us. This is somebody's handle on YouTube, right? Although this is that, but this is somebody's handle on YouTube. It's Tories are cunts, right? I'm not saying that, although I think that's the handle on YouTube, right?
I'll agree with that as well. Red, blue, and yellow.
It is what it is, right? So got a couple of retweets. People got in touch with us. It generated a wee bit of contact, and what happened there was I then put another tweet about something I can't mind, right, but we'll stop that there. That's enough of that for the now. Right, so that was what happened. Generated a wee bit of interest, and I went and protested at Butte House with Tweet Street Scotland tattoo last week. You were there, big man. Thank you very much for coming along. It was good to show up. Because it was,
give me a wee bit more notice next.
It was one of them. It was spur of the moment. So for you to show up, it's greatly appreciated. For everybody that showed up, Frankie, Duke, obviously my wife. There was other people joined us online that obviously couldn't make it too far to travel in such short notice. But there's got to be another Tweet Street Scotland tattoo tomorrow. Funnily enough, in Edinburgh again, where I'm going to kind of show a wee bit of dissent and maybe see a wee bit of dissent. I know, depending who's there.
I wish I could be there,
Well,
but unfortunately, it's not going to be possible.
I know that you can't make it tomorrow. So I know the circumstances and you can't make it, and these things happen sometimes. Also, what I say, a big shout out to Cross House Hospital, CAU or CUA or ACU or UAC, whatever it was, because without them, I wouldn't be here today. Well, without me signing out their care, I wouldn't be here today. Thanks very much for looking after me while I was in. So it's on to Edinburgh tomorrow for one last hurrah, possibly. So that's how it's going. I'm going tomorrow to see how it goes, because the first one had 5, right, and 5 people and a dog, and then 2 French women that came out and showed their support. So
2 French women at the front of a beautiful house. So you sure you want to see double?
No. Right.
That would fit in well with your hashtag Nicholas Scraps.
Right. Let's quickly iron over that. And what we'll do is we will talk about, right, so the online assembly on the 4th of November, right? So don't be fooled by what you see there behind me saying the 5th of November. That's where Dave comes into it, and Dave's going to tell us about that in a wee second, right? But the online assembly is the 4th of November. What we're going to try and do, and we've been in touch with people who have returned that contact and accepted. Now, bearing in mind, Tweet Street is grassroots, so this isn't all. This is grassroots people. This is no academics. These are just people that think that Scotland is getting a bit of a raw deal, and that there could be better for us if we were governed better. I think it's fair to say. So what we're going to do is, just to explain the online assembly part of it, there's going to be a Zoom like this, where people are going to get invited into it. We're then going to join up at several locations across the country, over 5 so far. And we're going to see a spectacle. Now, we're going to join up with those locations across the country just about midnight for this spectacle to happen at 5 past midnight on the 5th of November. Right, so Dave, tell us a bit about it, please.
Well, basically, we were looking for something that was going to remind everyone that day that the biggest lie salvo, the documentary, is going to be released at noon on the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November hashtag. So basically, we thought we would do something early in the morning to say, draw attention to that. And we thought, well, if you go back to 1698, when sorry, to 1707, when the Articles of Union were signed, there were people all over the country were burning Articles of Union. So we thought, well, let's have a little celebration of that. So given the fact that it's going to be Bonfire Day, or Bonfire Night later on that night, we thought we're going to have our bonfires earlier. We're going to burn copies, Articles of the Union all over the country, where anybody's pissed off about they were ever signed in the first place. And that would be to draw attention to the fact that the biggest lie will be released on the Salvo website at 12 o'clock, 12 noon on November the 5th. And if you can't afford to buy fireworks this year, don't worry about it. You'll get plenty of them at 12 noon.
That sounds very intriguing, right? Very intriguing indeed. So we've only got what, just over a week to wait, just about 10 days until
I see that.
we'll get that. We're on the 26th of the day, so we've got about 10 days. So what Tweet Street's going to do is, and what Tweet Street has offered to do is, to host people on the Zoom call. The intention is to live stream the meeting so that other people can enjoy the experience and share in the experience. However, if for any reason the live stream goes down, the people in the meeting will be seeing what's happening, because also in the meeting are going to be at the locations across the country. where the fires are going to be taking place. Now, that information you can get for Salvo. It will be released. I'll be releasing stuff closer at the time. However, initially you can get that information for Dave or for people at Salvo, where those locations are.
So Salvo are going to put out an email to people this weekend that'll tell all our members, and I think we've got about 3,500 now. That'll tell all our members where these things are going to be, and offer to let them have their own if they can't get to one of these things. If they can put a brazier in their back garden or whatever, more than welcome.
Now, I'm going to be joining in with the festivities because I'm going to set something up. I'm going to get the laptop and what have you set up out the back door. I'm going to have a fire pit set up, and I'm going to be doing it from the back door. So that's why I'm saying to people, if there's any issues with the stream, we will be recording the meeting. So if you're in the Zoom meeting, then you're going to get to see it happening anyway, right? If you're on the stream, then the potential is if anything goes wrong with the stream, you won't get to see it until the recording thereafter. So I'm just laying everything out on this isn't a professional setup here. This is just a guy in the house, right? That's doing stuff or trying to do stuff or in the garden. Dave is just another guy that's like an activist, an independent supporter that cares about Scotland and the betterment of it, right? So we came together to collaborate to try and do something to put out so that other people can hopefully get the enjoyment that we hope that we're going to get for it. So, aye, it's there for folk. There has been people in touch. There are some spaces left, however. Get in touch with us. Send us a DM on Twitter, or if you send us an email at tweetstreetscotland13@gmail.com to make an inquiry. We will be try to get as many people on the Zoom as possible. So with that in mind, if you can't make it to one of the events that's getting organised that Dave is aware of, then, and you want to ensure you get to see it, then you can ask for an invite into the Zoom. And there's up to, I'll probably say, I know I says I can host up to 100 people. However, with the Salvo, or with Dave and the guys that are guys and gals and that are doing the fires, I think there's going to be up to 90 spaces, some of which are already taken. So there are a couple left. If you're interested, give us a shout. Right, so that covers that part. Covers Bonfire of the Vanities.
Well, so far, I can tell you so far that we've got one in Aberdeen, one in Fife. It's probably going to be in Kinghorn Beach at Petticoat. One in Glasgow. One in Kilmarnock, down your edge of the wood, and one in Nairn.
Kilmarnock. Oh, Nairn. Did you know?
One in Nairn. So if you're around about there, your Salvo members, you'll get an email this weekend. I'll tell you all the details where to go. And as I say, I'm sure we'll read about it next week in the Daily Express with that sinister group that are going to be holding Bonfire.
We beat them. We beat the papers to it. We put it out. We tell folk, right, what we're trying to do. Right. So, thanks to the people. Again, people are showing support online. Thank you. At the end of the day, we'll try to do something. We see how desperate a situation we're in, and if our alleged betters, believe it or not, see that the political classes and that now the folk that lie for a living, if they can't do it, then I'm fed up of PM Idol. I'm fed up of any fucking Burns poem, any fucking Bruce quote, any alleged quote, and then vote for me at the end of it. But I'm fed up, right? All the while, still trying to pay all my bills, same as everybody else, struggling along, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're being honest. We're being honest, right? they're not looking for. And by the way, another wee thing. Somebody sent me a wee message saying about a donation or something like that, right? And then I got an email what I thought was a scam, right, for PayPal saying it was £100 meant for us, right? But I've not got a PayPal or anything. I don't set up. I don't do this to look for things. It's appreciated, so that money will go to some good use somewhere. So thanks very much. Aye, but it's one of them that obviously there are other people out there that see similar things to us, and they kind of we try and pull together. But that's what being Scottish is all about. Right? That's what being Scottish is all about. What it's also been all about is identifying, like, when folk are taking the rise out of you. I'm going to try and keep this unsweary. When folk are taking the rise out of you, right?
Fuckers.
Aye. But bad, it's no nice, right? It's no nice. So, with that in mind, I'm going to do, I'll do a wee share of a Tweet Street edit. Because, like everything, some things piss you off. So, you do, you have a wee lash out, and I'll lash out this way, right? Which isn't a bad thing, I don't think, to do it this way. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Right, you can tell us what you think of this, because you kind of mentioned that you opened with it pretty much.
Fuckers.
I had to kind of
Traitors.
I had to rein in the horses.
If he should give up what he has begun and put us under control of the English, we shall get rid of the bastards.
Aye, right, so here we go.
Kenny McCaskill.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The Eastern HVDC link is a multi-billion-pound project, taking up to 4 gigawatts of clean power from Scotland to England via high-voltage, direct current subsea cables. That's enough to power 2.8 million homes in cost and scale. It's the largest electricity transmission investment in the UK's recent history.
The job of the SNP in Westminster, if people vote for us to put us there in numbers, is firstly to stand up for Scottish interests and push the issues that matter to people in Scotland onto and up the Westminster agenda. As long as we're part of the Westminster system, as well as standing up for Scotland, I would hope we could make common cause with parties like Plaid Cymru in Wales, the Green Party in England.
Of an effective Labour government.
And perhaps, well, you see, I think that might make a Labour government a more effective government, and a government that actually delivers some of the policies that Labour supporters probably are crying out to hear a Labour leader argue for. Presiding officer, in my view, choosing without good reason not to be vaccinated is deeply irresponsible. Getting vaccinated, on the other hand, is a civic duty, and it is the most precious gift we can give to others at this time.
Moo.
Right, so that was my but Halloween Guy Fawkes on the one, right? That was that interpretation. I mate, what? The SNP. But you mentioned that when that was the first part of the clip there. They got up and walked out when Kenny McCaskill started speaking up on behalf of Scotland when the cost of living energy crisis said, the energy price, whatever.
They don't have the balls, in spite of the fact that they all seem to have them. They don't have the balls to actually stand up when a Tory does it, but they'll stand up when Kenny McCaskill does it when he's talking about Scotland. They don't deserve their positions. They don't deserve to be able to breathe Scottish here. They should all be kicked out the bloody country and never allowed back across the border, the bastards.
Aye, they're honest to God. But there's certain things that disappoint you, know what I mean? Like, as a Scot, seeing things, right? There's certain things that disappoint you. And it's like, I've got my differences with the Alba Party, right? I don't hide for things. Like if I see something that I don't think it's no right, I'll say it, right? I date with the SNP, I date with the Tories, and I'll date with the Labour Party and all, right? It's how it goes, right? I do things for how I see it for the benefit of Scotland, right? And call it for the benefit of Scotland, not for the benefit of a party, not for the benefit of a person, right? However, the one thing that the day that you can always rely on them for is they'll stand up for Scotland, right? They want votes. I get that, right? I'm anti-political, right? It's how it goes. Like, because I've seen politicians up close and listened and they've proved me right. Like, look the state we're in, right? I could have told you this 10 years ago. Most folk could have. And we tried to fucking 8 years ago. Know what I mean? Because we could have 10 years ago. We knew it was coming down the pipe. Right? And some folk look at things and you go, wait a minute, you can't be disappointed. They're your fellow countrymen. I get that. That's why we keep on trying to do shit, right? So when Kenny McCaskill stands up to speak up for us, right? Differences are no that I've got with anybody. It's for Scotland he's speaking up for. When the rest of the arseholes just fucking get up and say, I was trying to keep this, like, no, I can't. You see how it gets, you know what I mean?
Everybody swears about them the day. Even
when they behave like that, what defence have you got for them? There's no defence for them. Because they abandoned the rest of us. It wasn't just Kenny McCaskill they abandoned. It was Scotland, right? And people have been pointing out, they've abandoned Scotland before, but it was just becoming more and more obvious. They're more and more seeing like the way Tories behave whenever SNP used to speak.
Worse than the Tories, right? Man. At least the Tories, you know the Tories.
It's that colonial mindset.
Stab your own bastards.
It's that colonial mindset. It's bought and sold, right? It's bought and sold. And then you've got that fucking dafty Pete Wishart on crawling about, oh, next time it'll be traitors, and it'll be this, and it'll be that, and it'll be next thing.
Like, well, that's a bloody traitor.
With his projection, like try to cut them off at the pass. Like dafty. You know what I mean? You get back to your keyboard. You know what I mean? Or pulling carrots or hanging about with your fucking tweed trousered pals.
Only man who makes 2 successful careers out of playing with his organ.
Aye. Now he's playing with fucking Westminster's organ. All of them. Right, anyway, that's the frustration at the road, right? But that's how it is. Right? That's how it is. Like, I want to be championing Scottish people. But how can you champion that? Like, we've elected them to represent us. But no, I mean, and how can you champion it? How can you defend it? Like, you can't defend it by going, oh, there's a plan. What the fuck's the plan? What is the plan?
I put a poll up on Twitter this week, and over 800 responses as to like who's got the strategy for independence, like Nicola Sturgeon and Alex Salmon. And at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, 800. There was quite a lot of SNP folk. It's still 70-30. Even SNP folk are realising she's got no strategy at all. Apart from to get as much money for us as she can before she sells us off again, just like the bastards did in 1707, where we were sold for 16,500 quid. They've gave her a bloody damn sight more.
Mate, it's frustrating. I'll say I went to Butte House last week. Look, I was frustrated with Nicholson's comment and then Blackford's comment, and then it's like they're gaslighting us, mate.
as if Blackford didn't have stuff to hide himself that we all know about Mr. Blackford, eh?
Aye. Did you see him with Penny Mordaunt? Know what I mean? Like that's a sex assault case waiting to happen. Like if you go in Scottish law,
would probably think so.
Aye, well, like, I'm surprised they've not documented that. Like everybody's documented that right enough because like, we know what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on. Like, aye, it's frustrating, Dave, isn't it? It's frustrating when all you want, like, it's easier to convince people that it's easier to con people than it is to convince people they've been conned, right? And like you can't con a con man. These you can't kid a kidder. That's what it is. That's what it is. You can't kid a kidder, right? So how long do you guys that still believe that there's a plan? How long do you guys that still think that there's got to be a referendum in October next year? And well, because we're trying to our adverts and stuff like that. That's how I end up at the hospital. I fell in an independence advert for the SNP. There you go. Right. Know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But how long is people? Like, how long he's got to be prepared? Because like, you're all for saying we need to get this right because it's for our families and our families. The bits of them that aren't in the bucket that have been cut off, the bits of them that aren't sterilised, that will never be able to produce anything, you know what I mean? They families. Nicola Sturgeon, Mammy of the Nation. I feel like greeting. Do you know that? I feel like greeting. When you go, like, I can't believe that.
If you didn't grin, you'd greet, exactly.
Aye, for where we were. Like, Dave, that's the thing though, for where we were, right? And you go and you have your ups and downs and you go, well, good, well, bad, well, whatever, right? This has got to happen. You can see this happening, you can see that happening, and folk going, nah, it's not going to happen. No, that's not happening. And you go, right, well, honestly, look at this bit and that bit. Like Wings was used to do it. Wings used to point it out forensically and starting back again. Thanks.
Still does it.
Aye, thank God. Because like, he was holding them to account. Know what I mean, and others. There's like, but you've got more now. You've got John Smythe, Smith's good. Smith.
He's brilliant, by the way.
Aye. So he, she, we don't know who it is. John Smythe investigates as a name. Don't know if it's a guy, don't know if it's a woman. Anonymous.
John Smythe, huh?
See what you done there.
Oops.
Don't you weird. We're getting attacked with all sorts. Especially with what's coming up tomorrow. Right. What time have people to turn up tomorrow, Peter? Tomorrow, I'm going to be at Edinburgh. There'll be an announcement come out and tomorrow morning from my Twitter page, but it'll be around about 11 o'clock ish.
And it's round about the place that you've been told it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's round about the place that you've been told, right? And there's obviously it's a contentious issue, because the tattoo just isn't turn off and turn up for
all the things she said, sitting on my head.
We're back to Catherine Cardona. I can't remember her name. See, that's what happens when you've got this. Right, have we got anything else we want to tell folk? Because this was
that's about it for now.
That's about it for now.
But as I say, watch your emails this week. If you're a Salvo member, it's all coming out. You're going to be invited to do something. We understand that you can come out at 12:05 at night, but as I say, I know at least half of you are probably up at the witching hour anyway on a Friday night. Probably because you're all witches. Women won't we?
Good recovery. Right. And for anybody who, because some people have already messaged us and says that they wouldn't be able to make it to the event because the health issues for the knees, etc.
Yeah.
That would be like if you were going to go to one of the bonfires that we'll be linking up with from the online assembly. So if you would like to come to the online assembly, which we'll be linking up to the bonfires event, linking in,
do that via living room.
Drop us a DM, and somebody in particular has already dropped us a DM and says that they wouldn't be able to for health reasons. So if you want to get into the Zoom, drop us a DM again. Aye. So that's pretty much it for this evening. It was just a wee update on what to expect. So tomorrow, Tweet Street, Scotland tattoo will be in Edinburgh, around about 11 o'clock. Showing a wee bit of dissent, maybe seeing a wee bit of dissent, and hopefully there will be other people there, maybe appealing some of the events that are going on in a specific building. Maybe.
Maybe.
Aye, so to everybody that joined us online, I never name checked everybody, but thanks very much for joining us online. That's what's happening tomorrow. The 4th of November, going into the 5th of November, is the online Scottish Citizens Assembly, which starts 11:30 p.m. on the 4th of November, where we'll be joining up with Dave and his well-organised events around the country, at specific locations, to have a bonfire of sorts.
Of the vanities. Of the vanities.
I will be setting.
You're so vain.
Aye.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
Set the heather alight. No, you, Heather.
Aye, no a person. Although I'm sure that folk have already got one springing to mind. The articles of the union, etc., will be getting burnt on the fire. So we'll be having that, and then we'll be continuing with a short chat thereafter about the Citizens Assembly and what we think we should be able to do going forward.
And if there aren't any effigies burnt, they've got nothing at all to do with Tweet Street.
No, again, Tweet Street is putting on a Zoom that's going to connect up with these people, right? I can't be held responsible for what they may or may not do, right? I can only be held responsible for what I do. I will give anything that other people may do that may be against the law. I'll give this as evidence to help, but it's not
I wouldn't do anything against the law.
Right? I said I was never breaking the law again, and I've stuck to that. So that's where we're at. Right.
You don't have to these days, man. You just have to put yourself up there and they say you did anyway.
You just need to tell the truth nowadays, mate. You just need to tell the truth, and
exactly.
Everybody tries to shoot you down, everybody tries to cancel you. But that just goes to show how much of the truth it is. Because folk, wait a minute, you can't have them saying things like that.
Although I can't come to the demonstration tomorrow, you never know who might turn up in my place.
Well, hopefully I catch up with Mr. Wishart's opponent. Mr. Wishart's nightmare. Right, that's it for Tweet Street for this evening. It was just a wee update, folks. Thanks very much to everybody that's joined us. I've already started getting messages in my DMs for people that want to take part. Excellent, because the more folk that take part, the more a spectacle it becomes. So look forward to hearing from more folk, and I'll get back to you, the ones that have already messaged us via email in the next couple of days. So for Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, for Cinnamon Bridges, for the Indy Ninja, say good night, big man.
Night, big man.
Good night, big man. Right.